Hey, what's up everyone? So in this video, I'm going to show you how I increased my traffic by 1,962%. And so I'm super excited to show you this because I didn't do anything super crazy. I just followed the principles within Gotcha SEO Academy and I saw this traffic growth. So with that said, let's jump right in. The URL that I'm talking about for this particular case study is for my on-page SEO guide that I created. So of course I don't have it up right now. So let me go ahead and go to that article so you can see what it's like. So this is basically what happened here is I've had a article targeting this exact keyword on page SEO pretty much forever. I've had it since probably 2014. And I never really put a bunch of effort into it. I never tried to acquire links to it. And mainly because I was kind of embarrassed by the content. I didn't really want to try to promote it. Because when I looked back at it, for some reason, I created it, but I basically just created it because I was trying to pump out a lot of content at that time. But when I looked at it, I was like, I really don't want to promote this to people in my industry who I'm trying to, at least build my rapport with. So I only want to show them the best stuff that I can. And that actually applies to you too. When you're promoting your content assets, you really want to promote your best stuff. And of course, you should always try to create the absolute best stuff that you can. But of course, it doesn't always work out that way. This is a perfect example. So this is the new asset right here. So you can see it's super, super deep. I'm not sure how many words. I'll just go to edit post and I'll see how many it is. But as you can see, it has a custom navigation, it has a custom design. And so I had my web designers develop this, design this, and then my developers develop this page. So this is a very, very in-depth blog post and one that I'm actually proud to promote now. So unfortunately, I probably won't have to promote it much because it's already ranking pretty well. But the total word count for this asset, it's 6,600 words. So it's really, really long. And that's definitely a big factor. So before I jump into kind of the details of what I did, I kind of told you a little bit there, but let me show you kind of the stuff that's going on here. So I started tracking this keyword phrase on page SEO. This is around like November 7th, because that's when I published the new version of this blog post. And so you can see it had decent traction. It got up into the 40s, then eventually got into the 20s. And then it got really high up here. It almost got to the first page and then it dropped off. And then it kind of sat in this spot for a while. But the real thing that is super interesting, this big jump right here is when I actually changed the design of the page. And so originally the page was the same content, except it wasn't custom designed. So it was just like a traditional blog post. It had, your hero image, and then it just had a really long form piece of content. And as soon as I changed the design, maybe a couple days later, it jumped to the first page. And so correlation isn't causation, but it's super exciting to see that because maybe Google is able to see that this page has some sort of unique coding, unique design, and that gives you a few bonus points. And when you think about it, in the SEO industry, I'm competing with the best of the best. I'm competing with people who create incredible content, people who know how to acquire links. I'm literally competing with the best people. And so any slight advantage that you can get could be, the factor that gets you above other people. So, this page is sitting anywhere between, it goes as high as 5, goes as low as 10. It's in that range right now. And that's because it doesn't have a ton of links. But once I get more links to this page, I'm going to get up into that hopefully top 3 range. And that's going to be really exciting. So that's the first thing I wanted to show you, is just the individual keyword ranking that I'm targeting sitting around this spot. Let me know what you see when you search this keyword. Tell me where I'm at. It'd be really cool to know what you're seeing compared to what I'm seeing. But let me go through these other screenshots. So these are screenshots that are going to be in my video, of course, but I just wanted to show you ahead of time. So the next screenshot here is the actual traffic growth. So So you can see for this original post, I had 194 visitors in that same time frame. So I measured this from November 7th, 2018, which is when I published the new one, to March 26th, 2019. And you can see that the traffic has grown by 1,962%. So it's pretty insane. And it would have actually probably been even more if I actually measured it maybe 2 weeks after I published, which is probably more realistic, but still pretty insane results. And so now I want to share kind of how I actually did that. And before I do, here are a couple other things. You'll see that this page has acquired a few new links. These are not actually links that I've went out and acquired. I acquired one link, but all the other links are just from websites scraping my content. So they're not actually like legit links, but it's just kind of what happened. And then if you go to Ahrefs, you can just go in there and throw that page in. But this is what you'll see is you'll see the organic traffic growth for this page is just going straight up. And the part that is so cool is look at the total organic keywords originally and just look how flat it is. It's just getting nothing, nothing, nothing. It got a kind of a weird spike here, which I don't know why that even happened, but then it fell off hard. And this is right about the point where I updated that post. And just look at that growth. I mean, it's honestly insane. So there's just a lot to be said for upgrading content and making it better, because the most important thing that you guys need to keep in mind is that you don't need to be creating new content. You don't need to be targeting new keywords. Sometimes it's better just to step back and see what keywords that you're already targeting that you can improve. And so in this case, I was already targeting on-page SEO, but I just wasn't ranking. That page wasn't performing well. So instead of targeting a new keyword and going after a completely fresh topic, I decided just to focus on this topic that I already have a page around, a page that has age, which is really important because a lot of people don't take that into account. The actual age of a page can have a huge effect. And this is a strategy I've repeated over and over and over. I find an old asset and I make it better, and you see just such a massive increase. So this is really cool. You get to see the proof of this working. And of course the traffic value's gone up now because I'm just ranking better now. So pretty straightforward. And then see some other screenshots. This is a comparison for Google Search Console. So you can see how it was doing before and then how it's doing now. Pretty substantial increase there. And so now let me talk about a few of the things that I did. So like I said, I updated the old content. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and just show you what that page used to look like in archive.org so you can get an idea. And it wasn't a terrible blog post, but it's just, I've grown a lot since then. I've had a lot more experiences since then. So I really felt like it was time to upgrade it. So you can see 2015. I thought I published in 2014, but maybe it was 15, but you can see it goes really far back here. But if you look at this post, it's just a traditional blog post. I decided to talk about like the mistakes that someone is making, and that's fine, but it just isn't my best work. It's just not something that I was proud of. So, and it's not very in depth either. So I just knew it needed to be scrapped. I knew I needed to improve it. So that's exactly what I did. So if you compare this post to the new post, you're going to see a substantial difference in quality. And I think that is what's benefiting this page a lot. The other thing is it's just generally much longer. In fact, it's probably like 4 or 5 times longer than the original asset. So that's going to play a big role. Then number 3 is, which I didn't actually write here, which I'll write now, is freshness. So I don't think I ever updated this article's date, because why would I? I didn't update anything in it, so I wouldn't just update the date. But in this case, I literally changed the entire article. So I changed the publish date to be very recent. And there's definitely some impact there, probably because of the freshness. Google says, oh, wow, this page has been updated substantially. And now it's, they're going to change the algorithm is going to change the way it looks at that page. And the other big thing is long tail keywords. And so I talk about this a lot in the phantom technique, and that's actually goes along with title modifiers too. But if you go to this page, you're going to see that I'm injecting all kinds of long tail keywords. So I won't go through each little thing, but I could have just target on-page SEO and probably done decently. But I knew that in the short term, it's better for me to target these longer phrases because then I can get that initial search traffic growth while I wait to rank for this primary phrase, which is going to take much longer. So what I did is I did checklist. I added a title modifier, which is 2019. And I just injected different variations of that throughout this post. And one other thing I did is I went into answer the public and I just searched on-page SEO. And then I found that people are searching what is on-page SEO, and people were also searching on-page SEO versus off-page SEO and some other variations here. So all of these, these are not like random choices. I didn't just, decide that I'm just going to talk about these things. I just look at what people are looking for. I look at the data and then I create the page around that. I try to avoid guessing as much as I can. And that's just a really good policy to live by when it comes to trying to rank well in Google. So, but the one thing I really want to show you is, and you've seen me talk about this before, probably in the phantom technique or when I talk about title modifiers, but I just can't express how important it is to use title modifiers. They're just so incredibly powerful. And if you look at my site or look at Brian Dean's site or even look at Moz, we're all leveraging title modifiers. And it just works. It just works so incredibly well because you get literally untapped traffic and you end up ranking for these keywords that on the surface in the tools don't have a lot of search volume. They don't appear to have a lot of search volume, but they do. People search these things, but it's just the tools don't update fast enough to get that data for the public. So, most people go into the Google Keyword Planner and they see that search volume, but that's old information. So just to prove this, we'll just look at the data. So this is data from Google Search Console. As you can see, I pulled it today. But the cool part and the thing I like to do is I just like to go to this filter and then go to text contains, and then we'll do 2019. And you'll see that I would have missed out on, approximately 449 clicks I would have missed out on if I didn't have 2019 in the title. Think about how crazy that is. And I haven't built a single link targeting, these specific long tail keywords. But if we go and look, we'll look at, let's look at one of these long tail keywords like this one. We'll go on page SEO checklist 2019. And of course, this is very distorted on my own computer. So if we go down, you'll see I'm right here ranking really, really well for this long tail keyword phrase. And I haven't built any links for this. It's just because I have it on the page and I'm targeting these specific long tail keywords and most importantly, adding these title modifiers. So I just can't express how important it is to do this if it makes sense for the keywords that you're targeting. Don't just throw a year on. But there are other ways to add title modifiers. Like you can use best, best blank or top blank or reviews. There's just so many different things that you can do to add these slight variations to your titles and to your pages so you can drive way more long tail traffic. And if you look at this, and if we look at this, you'll see that my primary keyword phrase, which I'm not ranking super well for yet, I'm still, the bottom of the first page, I've attracted 84 clicks. But so if we look at the total clicks though, it's 1,500 clicks. So that means that, over 90% of the traffic that's going to this page is from long tail variations. It's not from that primary phrase. So it's super important to target a primary phrase, but you have to keep in mind there's so much more traffic available outside of just a primary phrase. And in fact, a lot of the keywords that are being searched are probably going to show literally no search volume in any of the tools that you'll use. But it's just super important that you understand this concept because you can drive so much traffic even when you're not ranking for your primary term. So then the other thing is, yes, I designed this page. So I don't have a total investment in how much I invested in this page. Let's say around $500, I would say, maybe how much it cost to design this. That is totally a rough estimate, but between uh, building out the concept and them building out the design and these custom graphics and then having to actually develop the page, you're probably looking at about $500 for the company that I use. So just to give you a kind of ballpark idea of what it's like. And then the other thing that I did, and I always do this whenever I update a new post, I send an email to my list because I can promote this post again because it's a completely new post. It's not a regurgitated information. It's completely new. It's completely fresh. So my email list definitely wants to see it. So that sends a huge spike of traffic to it and engagement to it. And what happens, and I actually call this the unfair advantage because I get so much traffic going to this page that leads to, of course, visibility. People see it, and you need eyeballs to get links. But most importantly, I get an influx of social shares too if I did a good job. So that's why the email is just such an unfair advantage, and you have to really focus on building your list because it does benefit SEO indirectly. So just so incredibly huge. And one other little tactic that I use with email is I'll send an email out and I'll wait about a week. I'll wait about 7 days. And whoever doesn't open the email, I send that same exact email out again with a slightly different subject line, slightly different copy. And you would not believe how much more your open rate will expand. So like if you got 30% open rate with your original email, you may get like 15, sometimes even 20% with the second email. It's pretty mind blowing, but it does work super well. So I definitely recommend using that tactic. I think I explained that in the course, but super, super effective. So, and the last thing that I'll tell you is that I did acquire one backlink to this page. So this kind of shows you that, having a strong website that has a lot of quality links overall will get you up there. But most importantly, it's going to be the quality of your page that really drives your performance. But I would never say that you don't need links. It's just stupid. But you definitely need to focus on the page itself. And then once you feel so incredibly confident in that page, then go out there and acquire links to it. And I'm telling you this from experience because I never tried to acquire links to that original page because I just did not feel confident. I did not think it was good. So the one link I acquired is on this website, and you can tell it's kind of like a news-based website. It talks about a lot of different topics, but it was just one that was in my database. So for this particular link placement, I did what is called curated links. So I used to have a service that you could buy, which were our curated links, which means you reach out to this person and you ask them if you can inject a link into an older piece of content. So if you look at this content was published in November 12th, 2018. So just reached out to them and asked if I could add my link to this page. And then I pay him. It's that simple. So that's really how it works. And there are some companies out there that are doing this method. I think Rhino Rank is one that you can do. They do curated links. And so definitely a very effective tactic. But this is the only link that I've really acquired. So, and then, like I said, all these other links are just people basically just stealing my content. So that's what happens. And then everything else on here are naturally acquired links. So the main takeaway here is that it's not really links that are driving this result. I mean, I've gotten some links, but it's not anything to be, to go crazy about. It's not like I've acquired thousands of links to this page. I've acquired a decent amount, but nothing to brag about at all. But so the big takeaway is just to look through your content assets, your SEO content assets, and see if there is any opportunity for you to improve existing assets. Can you make them better? Can you add more value? Can you add more research? Can you design them? There's just so many things that you could do to make a page better. It's just literally unlimited opportunity. So if you're not ranking #1 for a keyword phrase, then there's opportunity for you to improve that page. So like I said, I'm going to be producing an HQ video that's going to explain these things in a much better format. I know this is kind of a weird video. It's kind of me just talking to the camera, but I just was super excited to show you guys this. And I just wanted to emphasize the point that you should focus on updating old assets as opposed to creating new ones. So thank you so much for watching, and let me know what you think in the comment section. I probably won't post this in the actual course. I'll just keep it in the Facebook group. So let me know what you think. All right, talk soon.